Hi everyone, it's Sarah. And today's story is a little different. It is quieter than my usual stories, more personal, more reflective. Reflective means thoughtful, looking inward, examining your own feelings, experiences, and beliefs carefully and honestly. Like looking into a still pool of water and seeing your own reflection clearly. Today, I want to talk about something that has genuinely changed my life. Not in a dramatic, overnight way, not one single big moment that transformed everything, but slowly, quietly, consistently, in the way that the most meaningful changes tend to happen. I want to talk about gratitude. Gratitude means the feeling of being thankful, recognizing and appreciating the good things in your life, the people, the moments, the simple everyday gifts that are so easy to overlook when life gets busy and stressful. Overlook means to fail to notice, to miss something because you are not paying attention. I practice gratitude every single day now. Every morning, before I do anything else, before coffee, before my phone, before the noise of the day begins, I open this little journal and I write down 3 things I am grateful for. 3 things, every morning, without exception. Without exception means always, no matter what, not a single day missed. It sounds so simple, and it is simple, but the effect it has had on my life, on my mindset, my happiness, my relationships, my whole way of seeing the world has been profound. Profound means deep and significant, not shallow or surface level, but touching something fundamental and important. But I did not always do this, and the story of why I started, that is what I want to share with you today. 2 years ago, I was not in a good place. I want to be honest about that because I think honesty matters, especially when talking about something as personal as mental and emotional well-being. Well-being means the state of being comfortable, healthy, and happy, your overall quality of life inside and out. On the outside, my life looked fine. Good job, nice apartment, good friends, no major crisis or catastrophe. A catastrophe is a terrible disaster, a major, devastating event. Nothing like that was happening. My life was, by many measures, perfectly good. But inside, I felt flat, empty, disconnected. Disconnected means not feeling linked or attached to things, like there is a gap between you and your own life, like you're watching your days go by from behind a glass wall, not fully present in them. I was stressed about work. I was comparing myself to other people constantly. Comparing yourself means measuring your own life, achievements, and circumstances against other people's, and usually finding yourself lacking. Lacking means not having enough, feeling like you fall short. Short of what? I was not even sure, just short, not enough. I was scrolling through my phone for too long every day, seeing carefully curated images of other people's lives that looked perfect and shiny and wonderful, and feeling somehow smaller in comparison. Curated means carefully selected and arranged, showing only the best, most attractive version of something. Social media is the ultimate highlight reel. A highlight reel is a collection of only the best moments, the exciting, flattering, impressive ones, with everything ordinary or difficult edited out. I was not sleeping well. I was waking up in the morning already tired, not from physical exertion, but from a low-level, constant mental tiredness that I couldn't shake. Exertion means physical effort. Couldn't shake means couldn't get rid of, something that stays with you no matter what. I felt ungrateful, and that made me feel guilty because I knew that my life was good, that I had so much to be thankful for. But knowing it intellectually and actually feeling it, those are 2 completely different things. Intellectually means in your mind, through logical thinking, as opposed to feeling something emotionally and deeply. Something needed to change. I could feel it. I just wasn't sure what. The change came from an unlikely place. Unlikely means not where you would expect, surprising. A colleague at work, a quiet, thoughtful woman named Linda, mentioned in a casual conversation that she had been keeping a gratitude journal for several years. A gratitude journal is a notebook where you regularly write down the things you are thankful for. She mentioned it very simply, not as advice, not as a recommendation, just as something she did and found meaningful. I went home that evening and thought about what she had said. I had heard of gratitude journaling before. It's not a new idea. It's been written about in books, talked about on podcasts, recommended by therapists and researchers. But somehow, hearing Linda talk about it so quietly and personally, without any performance or exaggeration, made it land differently. Land differently means to be received and understood in a new, more meaningful way, to hit home. Hit home means to resonate deeply, to feel personally true and relevant. I thought, what do I have to lose? It costs nothing, it takes 5 minutes, and if it doesn't help, no harm done. I went to a small stationery shop the next morning and bought a simple navy blue notebook. Stationery means paper-based products, notebooks, pens, envelopes, nothing fancy, just a clean, simple notebook with good quality paper. That evening, I sat on my couch and wrote my first 3 things. I remember them clearly, even now. 1. I am grateful for my health. I am able to walk, to breathe, to move through the world without pain. That's not something everyone has. It's extraordinary when you stop and really think about it. Extraordinary means remarkable and exceptional, far beyond ordinary. 2. I am grateful for my apartment. I have a warm, safe place to sleep every night, a kitchen where I can make food, hot water, a comfortable bed. These are things that billions of people in the world do not have access to. Access means the ability to have or use something. 3. I am grateful for my friend Emma. Earlier that day, she had sent me a funny voice message that made me laugh out loud on my lunch break. Such a small thing, but it was real, and it was warm, and it made my day a little brighter. I closed the journal, I sat for a moment, and I noticed something. A slight shift. Shift means a slight change, subtle but real. Something in my chest felt a little lighter, not dramatically different, not suddenly healed or transformed, just a little lighter, a little warmer, like a small candle had been lit in a room that had been slightly dim. I thought, I'll try this again tomorrow. That was 2 years ago, and I have written in my gratitude journal every single morning since. 730 mornings, give or take. 730 small moments of pausing before the day begins, before the noise and the rush and the demands, and asking myself, what is good? What is here? What am I thankful for today? Some mornings it is easy. Some mornings the gratitude flows naturally and easily. I have so much to write I could fill pages. Those are the good days, the sunny days, the days when everything feels right and life feels generous and full. But some mornings it is hard. Some mornings I wake up tired or sad or worried. Some mornings the world feels heavy, and the last thing I want to do is look for something to be grateful for. Those are the mornings when the practice matters most. Practice in this context means a repeated activity done regularly, like a spiritual or mental exercise. The mornings when it is hardest are the mornings when it is most important. Because here is what I have learned, and this is the heart of everything I want to share today. Gratitude is not a feeling that arrives on its own. It is not something that just happens to you when life is going well. Gratitude is a practice, a skill, something you cultivate deliberately and consistently. Cultivate means to grow and develop something carefully over time, like a gardener tending a garden. Deliberately means intentionally, on purpose, with conscious effort. When you practice looking for good things, even on hard days, even in small moments, you slowly train your brain to notice them more naturally, and gradually the way you experience your life begins to change. Not because your life changes necessarily, not because the difficulties disappear or the stress vanishes, but because your attention shifts, and where your attention goes, your experience follows. Let me give you some examples from my own journal, real entries, simple or I have written down over the past 2 years. The warmth of my coffee mug in my hands on a cold morning, the sound of rain on my window while I was safely inside, a text message from my mom that said simply, "Thinking of you today," the feeling of clean sheets on the first night after washing them, a stranger who held the door open for me and smiled, the way the sky looked at sunset on a Tuesday, unexpectedly, breathtakingly pink and gold, finishing a book that I truly loved, the feeling of my body after a good workout, tired and strong at the same time, a meal I cooked that turned out even better than I expected, the sound of my friends laughing at dinner. Do you notice something about that list? None of those things are dramatic. None of them are extraordinary achievements or major life events. They are quiet, ordinary, everyday moments, the kind that pass by unnoticed if you are not paying attention. But they are real, they are good, and they are always there, in every single day, no matter how difficult or ordinary that day might be. Always there, waiting to be noticed. That's what gratitude practice taught me, that goodness is not rare. Goodness is constant and quiet and woven through every ordinary day. You just have to learn to look for it. Has it made a difference? Genuinely, honestly, yes, more than I ever expected when I bought that simple notebook 2 years ago. I sleep better. I genuinely sleep better. Research shows, and my own experience confirms, that ending the day by thinking about what was good rather than what was stressful or unfinished helps the mind settle into rest more easily. Confirms means supports and proves, adding personal evidence to what the research suggests. I compare myself to others less. Not perfectly. I'm human, and comparison is a deeply human tendency. Tendency means a natural inclination, something you are naturally drawn toward. But I notice it sooner when I start comparing, and I'm quicker to redirect my attention back to my own life, back to what I have, what I'm building, what I'm grateful for. Redirect means consciously turn your attention in a different direction. I am more present. Present means fully here, in this moment, in this experience, not mentally somewhere else. When you practice noticing the good things around you, you become better at actually being in your life, tasting your food, feeling the sunshine, hearing the laughter of people you love. I am more resilient. Resilient means able to recover from difficulty, bouncing back from hard times without being permanently broken by them. When something goes wrong, and things do go wrong, that's just life, I'm better at finding the ground again. Finding the ground means returning to a stable, steady place inside yourself after being shaken or upset. And perhaps most importantly, I am kinder to other people and to myself. Gratitude has a way of softening you. Softening means making something gentler, less hard and sharp. When you spend time each morning recognizing how much you've been given by life, by the people around you, by simple luck and circumstance, it's hard to stay bitter or resentful or small. Bitter means carrying old anger and hurt. Resentful means feeling unfairly treated and holding on to that feeling. Small means living in a contracted, closed-off way, not open and generous. Gratitude opens you up. That's the best way I can describe it. It opens you. I want to be clear about one more thing before I finish. Gratitude practice is not about pretending everything is fine when it is not. It is not toxic positivity. Toxic positivity means forcing yourself to think positive thoughts even in genuinely difficult situations, denying or suppressing real pain. Suppressing means pushing something down, refusing to let it be felt or expressed. Real gratitude, honest gratitude, lives alongside difficulty. You can be going through something genuinely hard and still find 3 small things to be grateful for. The two things can coexist. Coexist means exist at the same time in the same space, without one canceling out the other. Some of my most meaningful journal entries have been written on the hardest mornings, mornings when I was sad or worried or tired. And finding those 3 small things, however small, however simple, did not make the difficulty disappear, but it reminded me that the difficulty was not the whole story, that goodness was still there alongside the hard thing, still present, still real. And that reminder that goodness is always there is sometimes exactly what you need to keep going. So, if there is one thing I want you to take from today's story, one practical thing you could try, it is this. Tonight, before you go to sleep, or tomorrow morning when you wake up, take a piece of paper or open a notes app on your phone and write down 3 things you're grateful for. 3 things. They do not need to be big, they do not need to be impressive. They just need to be real and true for you in this moment. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's a person you love. Maybe it's a meal you enjoyed. Maybe it's the simple fact that you are here, alive, breathing, learning English, and doing something good for yourself. Whatever it is, write it down. And then tomorrow, write 3 more. And the day after, 3 more. And see what happens. I think you might be surprised. Let me go through today's most important vocabulary one final time. Gratitude means the feeling of being deeply thankful. Reflective means thoughtful, looking inward and examining your own feelings honestly. Well-being means your overall state of comfort, health, and happiness. Disconnected means not feeling present or attached to your own life. Curated means carefully selected to show only the best version of something. Cultivate means to grow and develop something carefully and deliberately over time. Deliberately means intentionally, on purpose, with conscious effort. Resilient means able to recover from difficulty without being permanently broken. Coexist means to exist at the same time alongside each other. Softening means becoming gentler, less hard, more open and kind. And profound, deep and significant, touching something truly fundamental. These are not just vocabulary words. They are words for describing the inner life, the emotional, human experience of being alive. And having those words in English is a beautiful and powerful thing. Thank you so much for listening to this story today. It was more personal than my usual ones, and I hope that was okay. I hope it felt warm and honest and maybe, just maybe, a little useful, not just for your English, but for you. You are doing something remarkable by learning a new language. It takes patience, consistency, and courage, and those are exactly the qualities that make a gratitude practice work too. Keep going, keep learning, and remember, there is always something to be grateful for. If today's story meant something to you and you want to keep learning natural, real English with stories that go a little deeper, please subscribe to Free Daily English right here on YouTube. It's completely free. New stories every week, made with care just for you. Thank you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next story. Bye-bye.